Uh, Playoffs? Don't talk about it. Playoffs? You kidding me? Playoffs?
Yeah. NBA Straya. How are you going? Hey, going here right you should be. Why is that, Jim? Well, it's Monday, April 20, and basketball, give me the ball, cause I'm gonna dunk it. Yeah, playoffs. Talking about playoffs? That's right. It is playoff time. It is Monday, April 20. I'm your host, James Clements, here in Larry Armour Studios, and I'm a bit sad. I'll get to that in a second. We got our awards finalist announced, which was kind of neat. I do like the NBA sort of getting their ballots in at the very last minute. It's basically like me all the way through high school and uni. Oh, geez, Jim, when's the deadline? I don't know, but I'm leaving it to the last possible second. Good job, NBA. And we're going to break down every game one of the playoffs so far for you, because they've all happened. So we're going to talk about all 8 of those games. We'll do some game wraps. We'll give away some awards. That's not a knife. Old mate, no mate. Spud of the night. Ben Lonzo Baller. Some good yeah nahs. An unpopular opinion of the day. Outback Takehouse. We're serving up a fine-grilled take. There is an Andrew Gay's Grey Mummer Award for outstanding achievement in the field of excellence. And there's a look ahead to the 3-game dose tomorrow. That'll be fun. So, without further ado, let's get into it. Episode 1384 of NBA Straya. Let's go.
This is Josh Giddey.
G'day, this is Andrew Gaze.
This is Jack White.
This is Joe Ingles.
This is Dyson Daniels.
This is Chris Anstey.
This is Matthew Delvedova.
This is Shane Hill.
You're listening to NBA Australia.
And you're listening to NBA Australia.
And you're listening to NBA Straya.
And you're listening to NBA Australia.
And you're listening to NBA Straya.
You're listening to NBA Australia.
And you're listening and watching NBA Straya.
This is NBA Australia. Let's do it.
Watch out for the shark attack!
Yeah, gotta watch out for the attack of the emotions. I've been on a bit of a emotional roller coaster this weekend. So you might remember, if you cast your minds back to Friday, your mate Jim was like, hey, I'm going to do a show on Sunday night. It'll be awesome. Well, Sunday afternoon, whatever. We'll set you up for, the other half of the game ones, the 1-8-2-7s, etc. And, yeah, that didn't happen. Why was that, Jim? Well, again, really, roller coaster of emotions. Like, it was a pretty fraught 48 hours. On the good side, old mate's cousin got married on Saturday. It was awesome. Beautiful day. Love her new husband. He's a big hoops head. We talk basketball all the time. That's radical. Unfortunately, during the day, I sort of find out that one of my best friends that I grew up with, lived with, was in a band with, all this sort of stuff, passed away. And so just had it going on, as you can imagine. So your mate Jim's just sort of at this wedding, having a nice little sit outside with a couple of, just with a beer in front of him, having a cry, just, in touch with my emotions. It all just sort of, hit me all at once. I was just very, very, very sad. And this is it. I mean, it was just a real kick in the guts. It was, she had been, diagnosed with cancer a while back. Saw her, 12 months ago. And, everything was sort of looking good. And it was sort of, consistently like decent news. And it just absolutely happened very, very quickly. And, very shocking because, this is it. You think we all think we've got plenty of time to sort of say the things we need to those that we love, and when you don't, oh God, it hurts. And so, so I'm sort of dealing with that awesome wedding. Had the best time, great time. Like both the families had an unreal night, and then go up to Ballarat. To pick up the squids because they weren't at the wedding. So the 2 kids, they're up with my folks up in Ballarat. It's all hunky-dory, having a good time. I've had another bit of a cry with my parents who are obviously close with my friend who passed away. And it's just, bit of a Nice sort of moment. We're sort of having a chat, having a big old lunch, just a nice vibe. And then, of course, my old man then has to go to hospital because he's having a dizzy spell and he's already had a stroke and a bloody heart attack and all this sort of stuff. So it's better to be safe than sorry. And yeah, he wasn't in a good way. Got him to the hospital. It was all right. Then I had to hang out with my mates up in B-Town to chat about our friend who had passed away and a bit of reminiscing, a few tins and away we went. So it was just, by the time I got home back to Melbourne last night, carrying one of the, asleep squids into his room, chucking him into bed, I was just fucking wrung out. Like emotionally, everything. It was just fucking, like basketball was the last thing on my mind, I think, at that point. And, but that's the cool thing. So those games yesterday, sort of watching some in the morning, those first game ones, because the squids were obviously not there. So you wake up, you're hungover, you're watching them on the iPad, feeling good, watching some of those early games. And I guess into today as well, where, watching this OKC game earlier on, you're like, oh, this is a pretty interesting one. And then watching Orlando, Detroit, and, your brain is back into the sort of swing of things. But I don't know, grief is a funny thing, isn't it? It just sort of hangs with you and just like whomps you over the head with a 4x2 every so often, and then you just feel fucking sad again. But it's all good. Your mate Jim's all right. I'm just a bit sad and just got to acknowledge it, right? So, I don't know. One of those ones where you go, just give everybody a big cuddle for me. Right, let's start today's show the way we start every show here at NBA Straya, apparently with a heartfelt message, but also with the daily whip round. There it is. They announced the awards finalists. Oh, isn't that nice? I mean, it is. There was no real surprises, I think. So the awards finalists are obviously the top 3 vote getters for each of the NBA awards. And, I mean, they sort of rolled them out through the NBC coverage today, and you're like, okay, sure. My big problem is still that Reggie Miller somehow has a job. And there's a dude, when you go through the MVP candidates, I don't think he knows how to say the name of at least a third of them, right? And Reggie Miller, he can speak properly. He doesn't have, any sort of speech impediment. He's just a dummy. So, yeah, it's not good. Anyway, who are the awards finalists, Jim? MVP, no surprises there. It was Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Nikola Jokic, hello, and Victor Wembanyama, destroyer of words. So Wemby, SGA, Jokic, yep, that tracks. I think I did my picks last week, right? I'm going Jokic in that one. Defensive player of the year was Wemby, Chet Holmgren, or if you listen to Reggie, Chet Holmgren. God, he's a dummy. And Orsar Thompson, not to be confused with Awesome Thompson, but he is. How that is talk about bragging rights with your twin. It's like, hey, how many did you make the finalists of the defensive player? Oh, that's right, you didn't, did you? Oh, yeah, that's interesting, isn't it? Amen. Anyway, rookie of the year, that was Cooper Flag, Connie Nips, Con Knipple, and VJ Edgecombe. Not bad. Pretty cool. Sixth man of the year. This was a bit of an interesting one because I actually mentioned one of these dudes the other day. Tim Hardaway the Lesser. So Tim Hardaway Jr., real bloody good off the bench this year. The other two were Keldon Johnson and Jaime Jaquez Jr. And I think I kind of half gave it to Hardaway the Lesser. Figure Jaime's probably going to win, but yeah, still. Most improved player, Denny Avdia. Love that for him. Nicky Alexander-Walker. Love that for him. Talk about a jump in your points per game. But my favorite is they actually gave Jalen Duren a nod there as well, which is very cool and very deserved. Coach of the year. Love this. Joey Muzz, bro. Hey, bro. My entire philosophy of coaching is shut the fuck up and watch the town with me or kickbox your fucking head in, dickhead. That's a hell of a coach. Joey Muzz took a Celtics team that didn't have their best player, lost 3 other dudes who were absolutely massive in terms of their actual, when they went on to win the title, massive in their roles, everything, and still won 56 games and was the second seed. That's awesome. I think JB Bickerstaff was another one. You're like, all right, that's certainly okay. And then, JB Bickerstaff and this Pistons team, they win 60 games, and you're like, that is awesome. And the other one was the other Mitch Johnson, not notorious Australian fast bowler Mitch Johnson, San Antonio Banderas Spurs coach Mitch Johnson. Somewhere Mark Dagenham was like, dude, what the fuck? I won 64 games. I won the title last year. I'm pretty good. Still pretty good. Oh, I don't know. So, yeah, that was pretty good. But, yeah, JB Bickerstaff, Joey Muzz, and Mitch Johnson. The other Mitch Johnson. Clutch Player of the Year, which I do think is just stupid. Because you can just go, hey, who hit the most clutch shots? And they go, well, these three. So it was Jamal Murray, SGA, and Ant-Man. It's like that, yeah. So we actually have a measurement for clutch, remember? It's like within 5 points with 5 minutes to go. That's what defines clutch time, and here we are. If you've scored the most points, hit the most shots in clutch time, you're one of the three clutchest players there is. It's not really subjective. Anyway, and that's about it. There's not a giant amount of other news that has sort of come out, except for the obvious big one. Kevin Durant missed the Rockets-Lakers game out of the blue when basically an hour or so, 2 hours before, he was out there warming up. He's like, yeah, my knee's no good. And so he got scratched, and everyone's like, what the hell, man? So I put my picks in, obviously, that morning, and I'm like, oh, God, there's no way the Rockets now win. Like, I think just throwing, again, a spanner in the wrench, as we say here in NBA Straya, of not having KD when you already don't have a point guard and you're all a bit of a mess offensively they were never going to win that. And guess what? Hashtag spoiler alert, they didn't. Bit of a worrisome one. Like, Ime Udoka was asked about it. He's like, yeah, hopefully it's just like a one-game thing. Oh, geez. Ime Udoka doesn't sound like Morty, but he did there. Don't know why. Like, the other option for doing Ime Udoka is like, hey, man, let me root your wife just real quick. It's like, Ime, piss off. I've told you before, and I'll tell you again, no. And the other, so KD going out is obviously a pretty big one for the Rockets. We'll get to that in and we'll talk about it in the game wrap. But yeah, not great. And the other sneaky one. Remember how the Blazers got bought by rich guy, owns the Carolina Hurricanes, babidi boo bop bop. Apparently he's also notoriously cheap and has already started cheaping out, not flying like their social media and content creators, not flying their two-way players who obviously can't play in these playoff games, but all the other teams in the playoffs still take their 2 or 3 two-way players because they're part of the fucking team. And apparently there's no T-shirts at the Motor Center for the playoff games as well, which I think is hilarious. It's, we're saving money. For the most part, those playoff T-shirts or rally towels, whatever the fuck they give away at playoff games, are usually sponsored by one of the major sponsors for your team, right? So it'd be part of their buy-in sponsorship package. So this is just cheaping out on the maximum fucking chaoticness. So, but yeah, they're also apparently there's stories about them not letting staffers check out late at hotels because of the extra fees. You're the fucking Trailblazers. I'm sure you can negotiate with every single fucking hotel that you stay at to get fucking late checkout for your dudes, you idiots. Just ridiculous. Anyway, so there you go. New Blazers owner. Enjoy that, Portland fans who are notoriously chill about most things. Anyway, right, let's do some game wraps. The game ones all happened. Before that on Saturday, I don't really want to go over them because they were both pretty fucking shit games. Orlando kicked the flying fuck out of Charlotte, so bye-bye Hornets. That was a kick in the guts. Love the Hornets, obviously. But wow, did they play like dog shit. The Hornets were fucking horrible. Like, LaMelo was just off his head. Like, you don't want to say it, but it's like, LaMelo, he had a bit of a, I don't know if he had a mental health break like Elijah Hollins or something, or if, LaMelo was just shit. And I'm probably going to go with just, again, in LaMelo's head, his brain, I'm pretty sure, is still just replaced by, a goon bag full of Monster Energy drink that someone has just Mentos challenged with some cocaine. And that's all his brain is. He's like, beep, 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 beep. Just that's the noise he's hearing in his brain the entire time. Anyway, and then Phoenix also fucked up the Warriors, and we said goodbye to Steph Curry. I was obviously a bit sad because I think I'd picked both Charlotte and the Warriors to win those games, and I was wrong. But you feel like the Suns at least are a sort of more complete-ish type of team. But I would much rather have seen Steph Curry in one more playoff series having a crack, right? Would have been kind of neat, especially against OKC. And the Magic, since I posted the Ben Simmons Paolo Banchero meme, he's just actually fucking turned into Giannis. And yeah, that's on me. I poked the bear apparently. And I took that personally, says Paolo. So anyway, Paolo's gone on a tear. Magic win through to the 8th seed. Suns win through. Say goodbye to the Hornets and the Warriors. So then Sunday rolls around, 3 a.m. Toronto versus Cleveland. And all of these games, before we do the wraps, all 8 of these games, all except for the Detroit basketballing Pistons, every single one of the home teams won and covered the line. It's 7-1. It was crazy. And I think on Saturday I took all 4 of the three underdogs and the road favorite Rockets. So awesome. So basically, what we're going to look at here is a bit of rest versus rust, home court advantage, and just sort of being in your own surrounds and going, oh, we're okay. Check this out. And I guess as we start with Raptors Cavs, Cleveland 126-113. The Cavs win it and they had a massive third quarter. So I went back and watched all of this. Was it Sunday morning? And the thing that stood out the most is the sort of thing that we talked about in the preview. Stylistically, how it works, defensively, what the Raptors should be able to do conceptually against a Cleveland team, but they didn't quite do that, right? They used their sort of perimeter size. Unfortunately, Pirtle was shithouse, and Mobley was really good. Allen didn't have a huge impact in his 28 minutes, but did enough defensively. He's going to be a pain in the ass. And then Donnie Mitchell just shredded him. He drops 32. They shot the piss out of it, 54%. So this is the big thing about the Raptors defense. It just didn't do enough. Right? Harden has 22, 2 and 10. He shot 8 of 18, but that wasn't too bad. They also went 16 of 32 from downtown. Did Cleveland. So that'll do it. Strus had an awesome game, 24 points off the bench, hit 4 threes. I think it was pointed out that in his entire Laker playoff career, 24 points might be the most he's scored. I think he scored more in that game than he did for his entire Laker playoff run combined. So, yeah, not great. The thing is, the Raptors shot pretty well as well. 13 of 27 for them. And again, I'm not a math magician, but that's very close to 50%. But they wasted it. You can't, if you're the Raps, you can't waste one of your few really great 3-point shooting nights as well. So they had Jamal Shed hit fucking 5 threes. You got 3 of 6 out of RJ Barrett, 3 of 4 from Scoob. RJ was good. Scotty Barnes was good. 21 and 7, but he had 5 turnovers, 4 turnovers for RJ, and 17 turnovers all up. Their starters sort of just got a bit outplayed. And this was kind of the thing, trying to figure out how this matchup was going to work. Is their size going to be that much of a problem on the perimeter? And the Cavs are like, no, it's not going to be a problem. It was pretty evenly matched out of the gate. They're only up by 7 or whatever it was. 6, I think, at the half, and then just whomped them in the second half. You're like, whoa, shit. All right. Spindles Ingram was okay-ish, but not good enough, I guess. And yeah, it's one of those ones where you go, Calamari Boyles is built for this. I love Calamari Boyles. Colin Murray Boyles. He was awesome. But it just sort of, everything else just went a little bit fucking sideways, right? No IQ. And just, once it gets, Mamu wasn't very good at all. Pretty ineffective, 20 minutes. He had 3 points. And it just felt like stylistically, as I talked about going into this series, I feel like game to game, we're going to go, fuck, is this going to be the game that Toronto just go, oh, we're bigger than you. Every position except for Evan Mobley. Get them, boys. Or Cleveland's probably got, on balance, more talent across the board. And it sort of was writ large in this one where they just shredded them in that third quarter and sort of ran away with it. So, yeah. 1-0, Cleveland. Second game, pretty much the same sort of thing. Denver versus Minnesota. This was fun as hell, this game, though. Jokic, 25, 13, 11. Ant-Man, 22, 9, and 7. Never, he shot 7 of 19, did Ant-Man. It's like, yeah, it's not quite good enough. 2 of 9 from deep. Yeah, had Jaden McDaniels throwing 16, had a couple of interesting moments, but they just looked a little bit off, and it took some very, very excellent bucket getting from Jamal and for Jokic to get them over the hump. Ayo, had 14 off the bench for the Wolves. But again, they just couldn't quite clamp them enough. And the way that they sort of just ended up, they out-rebounded them. They got to the free throw line an absolute shit ton, to the point where Chris Finch is like, what the fuck's going on with Jamal Murray shooting 16 free throws? And everyone's like, yeah, it's a pretty good point. Jamal ends up with 30, but he shoots 7 of 22. Massive impact, though. Like, he sort of controlled the game, and then Jokic did absolutely fucking everything else. Aaron Air Gordon was pretty good, too. 17, 8, and 3 for him. Cam Johnson hit a couple of threes. Brown hit a couple of threes. Tim Hardaway Jr. Like, just having Bruce Brown still feels like he's the perfect nugget, isn't he? He had 8, 7, and 3, 5 steals, taking the piss. And this was a really, really fun one where it's like sort of Minnesota were threatening and threatening and threatening and threatening, and the Nuggets just sort of kept them at arm's length and went, not today, pig, not today. Because what, it was like halfway through that fourth quarter, they got it back within, I want to say like a couple of points. Yeah, it was like 95, 97 or whatever. And then Jokic just goes, check this out, 3-point play on your face. And you're like, fucking cool. And they didn't really look back too much from there. Like, there was an Ant-Man and one in there too, but Denver just sort of did enough. And it was a really, really fun one where I'm like, just, these games are all going to be like this. This is fun as. Atlanta, New York, 113-102. The Hawks made a bit of a furious run late, and the Knicks just sort of kept them at arm's length as well. Cat was very, very, like, hit some big buckets when it mattered. He had 25, 8, and 5. 28, 8, and 4 with 5 turnovers, sorry. 6 of 13 shooting. Brunson was pretty good, 28 on 9 of 22. But they get 11 from Hart, 11 from Bridges. OG was really, really good. He got some weird fouls, especially towards the end, but just did absolutely everything else. Made Jalen Johnson's life hell. And the Knicks just sort of like absolutely took a couple of punches, threw some back at them. And I'll tell you what, that MSG crowd is absolutely off its bloody head. It's like, we'll talk about Trae Young in a second, but oh my God, that was funny. MSG, well played. But I mean, for the Hawks, Nicky Alexander-Walker had a couple of like late shots in the game that he's sort of trying to, he's sort of forcing as they're trying to claw their way back into it. 17 on 17 shots, not quite good enough, but that's a lot of garbage. Help. We're going to quick shoot. God damn it, misses at the end. CJ was really good, 26, 5 turnovers though. Shot 11 to 20 and 4 and 9 from deep. Jalen Johnson at 23, 7 and 3. OG, I think, did a really, really good job on him. 8 of 19 shooting. 19 for a Okongwu because he hit 4 threes. That was awesome. And you're like, this is, I don't know, more of that, please. That'd be kind of fun. Deuce McBride hit a couple of threes. He was good for the Knicks. The other Mitch Robinson, pretty solid. Jeremy Clarkson helped out as well. But I think the Knicks, like, it was a pretty tight back and forthy kind of game that the Knicks, I don't know, sitting there watching this, did you feel like they were going to lose it at any point, right? They were sort of just, like once they sort of got up massive in the fourth quarter where they're up like almost, I want to say almost 20 points. I better check that. Yeah, they're up like 19 points in the fourth quarter with like 4.5 minutes to go. And then they decided to not score again until like 47 seconds left or whatever it was. Oh, a minute. Yeah. Holy crap. Yeah, they got it down to like 8 points again or whatever. So it was under double digits. And you're like, here we go. They're blowing it. And they sort of pulled it back. But then the Knicks let him. I mean, Cat had a big jumper or a big shot that he sort of just got into the paint. Off they went. But made him sweat just that little bit. But by the time so that third quarter, they got up, they sort of stayed up, but they do have these weird lapses where they just don't score the Knicks. And that's the sort of thing that worries me when you've got, and this is what we hit on in the preview, when you've got enough sort of size in Nicky Alexander-Walker, Dyson Daniels and co. to throw at Brunson, you're going to kind of keep fucking his shit up. Just didn't fuck it up enough, I think, in this one. So, Yeah, good game though. That was a fun one. More of those, please. And then the Lakers. The Lakers got by Houston 107-98. The Rockets this was a weird one. Because I'm like watching this one and the Lakers just, again, it's the LeBron show. And so much of this was simply the Rockets going, it would be really good to have a point guard. Like Reed Shepherd is awesome. I love me some Reed Shepherd, but he shoots 6 of 17 in this one for his 20 points. 6 of 20 rather for his 17 points. I had that backwards. And you're just like, yeah, no KD, no Rockets. LP Şengün got absolutely pantsed by the defense of the Lakers. Dominated him. I think Dominating had 19 and 11 on 8 of 10 shooting. And LP Şengün shot 6 of 19 for his 19 points. Only had 8 rebounds. It was a bit of a mess. Jabari Smith, 16 on 14 shots. Amen Thompson, 17 points on 18 shots. And we hit on this in the preview. Like the Lakers defense is sort of junky enough, chaotic enough just to fuck their shit up, right? They'll drag you into the mud. But I thought at that point we'd have KD in this series for the Rockets. We didn't, and boom, the Rockets lose. LeBron was awesome. 19 points, 13 assists. He's out there with his son. Still crazy that Bronny's actually playing minutes. Bronny did play 4 minutes and not score. But what's he doing out there? You got 6 points out of Jake LaRavia, 4 out of Jackson Hayes. Vando hit a 3. But mostly, this was the Duck Man. Who needs Luka Doncic when you've got Luke Kennard? Do you like that one? It's a good one. 5 of 5 from deep, 9 of 13, playoff career high for the Duckman Luke Kennard. You love that. Smart was really good, 15, 14 for Rui. All the starters in double figures. And the Rockets just couldn't hit a fucking shot. They shot 38% from the floor. They took, 27 more shots than the Lakers. Just fucking missed them all. It's crazy. Seriously, the Lakers, they got to the line 26 times, 25 for the Rockets. Rockets shot 11 of 33 from deep. The Lakers went 10 of 19. Again, no math magician here, but that's better than 50%. And they shot only 66 times from the floor, 40 of 66 from the floor. Again, that's bloody good. So the Rockets, who were like, wow, we hang our hat on defense, let the Lakers, led by a 400-year-old LeBron James, and Rui Hachimura, and the Duckman, Luke Kennard, shoot 61% from the floor for them. They went 38. So I don't know if that's replicable by the Lakers, but bloody hell, not bad. And then we had today's game. So the Lakers take a one zip lead. Crazy. We'll talk about that again in a second. Philly got absolutely curb stomped by the Boston Celtics, 123-91. It was very funny because Tatum was absolutely awesome out of the gate. Maxey just had, his life was just fucking hell. 21 points on 20 shots for him. Paul George, just, you sort of do these, you watch a game like this and you go, is he playing? Yeah, there's VJ. He shot 13 points on 16 shots. Basically, Philly were dog shit because the Celtics made them dog shit, if that makes sense. Because the Sixers shot 4 of 23 from downtown. 4 of 23. 39% overall. Abysmal. Like Sam Hauser hit as many threes as the entire 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Sixers. Yeah, that's not great. Even with Tatum, he was back and awesome. 25, 11, 7. Brown was unreal in that third quarter where they just fucked him up and sort of put that one to bed. But the way they came out so quick and Tatum was that good early on, 10 points out of the fucking gates. Yeah, absolute laugh. They're up by 35 in this one. Philly just, brutal. OKC 119, Phoenix 84. That was another smashing. OKC just fucking, again, like, it was pretty funny how those two were just absolute laughers, and you're like, oh, okay, well, that'll do, pig. Booker, 8 of 17, 6 of 22 for Dylan Brooks, 6 of 16 for Jalen Green. Yeah, they shot 35% from the floor to the Suns. And OKC were up 15 after the first quarter. You're like, yeah, this might be bad. And it was pretty bad. 119.84 is pretty bad. But they managed to, they only had to play Chet 25 minutes, 29 minutes for SGA, 29 for J-Dub. J-Dub was really good, 22 for him, 25 4-7 for SGA, but it was imperious, right? Their defense was absolutely fucking everywhere, OKC. And it was interesting watching them versus Detroit. And like that swarming defense of OKC was just absolutely like on a fucking string. It was awesome to watch. They bodied the Suns who, coming off these play-in games, just a little bit fucking, how you going? And OKC went, yeah, that's cute. Whack. So good job by them. Orlando, Detroit, the only actual real, like aside from Houston Lakers, but they lose KD. It didn't feel like it was much of an upset really in the end. Orlando, Detroit, the only upset. 112-101. The Magic men get past the Pistons. Franz Wagner, hello, drops 11 points in the fourth quarter, basically to hold off the Pistons. Cade had 39. And if you've been listening to NBA Straya all season, Flame Grilled Whopper, you know that I've probably been banging on, maybe even a little bit too much, about how the Pistons don't really have a secondary shot creator. They have secondary shot takers, not really so many makers. The Jaden Ivey sort of role that Jaden Ivey was sort of meant to fulfill, but Jaden Ivey probably, blamed the unrighteous or some shit. It's always somebody else's fault, isn't it, Jaden? On like not having that filled and like instead bringing in like Duncan Robinson and their big move at the trade deadline was Kevin fucking Huerta. And then suddenly you got a couple of like, all right, we've got our white guy shooters. I get it. We've got Dennis Jenkins. He had a bit of a Barry Crocker shocker. Hit a big three early on and then literally didn't hit another shot. He goes 1 of 7. And as you're sort of watching this, you're like, offensively, they just can't get into this game at all. It's just Cade. And it's like a little bit of the Jalen Duren limitation sort of vibe. He ends up with 8 and 7. He's a minus 21. It's like a team worst in his 33 minutes. And they put him in bad spots. He just could not get going. There was nothing easy. And I feel like Wendell Carter Jr. and co. just did Goga was solid in his 11 minutes or whatever it was. The size, even someone like Jamal Cain, who popped up really, really well in that Charlotte game. He's a pain in the ass sometimes to get around. Tristan Aravinda de Silva, solid 21 minutes. But wow. The sheer, confidence garnering that they got from Jalen Suggs not being dog shit. The steal that he had and the sick dunk. He had 3 steals. He shot 6 of 16 for 16 points, but was very good early. And Pato Bancato, I lit a fire under his ass, clearly. 8 of 15 shooting. Not bad. Good size. 2 of 4 from deep. You love to see it. 9 rebounds, 4 assists, 23 points, but controlled it and looked engaged. And this is the thing. The sort of perimeter, they didn't need Desmond Bane to go off and win them the game because this is what the Magic should be doing. It's like the collective rising tide gets them wins. And it sort of seems like every time they sort of focus too much on one other dude, it just gets a bit fucking sideways. That includes Bane, who had 17 points on 20 shots, 1 of 8 from 3. But it didn't really matter because everyone else was very, very good and very efficient. 19 points on 7 of 13 shooting for Wagner. Hello. Wendell had 17 and 7 and 5 assists. Just super duper solid shit. And this is the idealized version of the Magic, right? They can sort of get you from every position. And when it's on, it doesn't suck to watch. When it's off, they might be the worst team in the NBA to watch. So, non-Chicago Bulls edition or non-tanking teams edition. Great win for Orlando. Detroit's defense just couldn't slow them down. They only went 10 of 34 from deep. That's the thing with the Magic. We know they can't really shoot threes to the sort of, to the nth degree that some of the best teams can. And to that point, the Pistons only went 10 of 32. So that's slightly better, but not much. But they just dominated them. It was crazy. The Magic were just absolutely inside I'm all up inside you. That's what the Magic were doing. They absolutely fucked them up on points in the paint. I think it ended up 54 to 34, but after the first quarter, it was 20 to 2 or some shit. You're like, Jesus, the Magic are dictating terms. That's not great for the Pistons. So it feels like this matchup, which is oh man, Charlotte, Detroit would have been fun as hell. This one might not be more as fun, But shit, Orlando might fancy themselves now that they've stolen one in Detroit. And then finally, San Antonio held off a feisty Portland, 111-98. Interesting, good end to like the first half, I guess, for the Blazers and the sort of Spurs. But then the Blazers rip off like this 8-0 run. They get within like, 1 point? And you're like, Jesus. It might have been 2 points. I can't remember. Jim, you should check. You've got the internet. Yes, I do. But the crazy part was, I think Mitch Johnson then called like a timeout. And you're like, oh, God, look out. The Spurs getting a bit wobbly after Wemby came out like a fucking house on fire. 21 points out of the fucking gates, just carving him up. Putting Denny in the fucking washing machine, spinning him around. I'm spinning around. Get out of my way. My name is Victor Wembanyama. Yeah, it was 2 points. And you're like, hello, what's going on here? And then I think they ripped off a 34-15 run. You turn around, it's 100-79. It's like, Jesus. So, yeah, they went from 61-59 to 100-79. You're like, yeah, that'll do it. 21-point lead. They then sort of like hit a bit of a, I don't know, lull. The Blazers got it back down to 10 points or whatever it was. I think they almost got it under double figures. I think. It was around 12 points or something around there. Yeah, they didn't quite get it back on the double figures, but they put up a bit of a fight, got up 21. Spurs kind of put it in a bit of a, put it into cruise control. But I don't know, like you watch Portland and you go, yeah, it's really hard to slow down a 7'40" French alien, right? And I think it might have been T-Mac was on the call because fuck me, I just can't listen to Reggie Miller just butcher names and concepts and the English language and critical thinking. It just hurts my brain too much. But T-Mac came out and was like, hey, why the fuck aren't they just hitting Wemby harder? I'm like, that's a really good point, T-Mac, who I think his sort of commentary in those, the studio breaks, it does wildly vacillate between basic shit and then, he's fucking nailed that. Donovan Clingan and Time Lord was trying to beat the fuck out of Wemby. And a lot of it was very, touchy-feely kind of shit going on. So I expect that to change for Game 2. But after Game 1, boom, good win by the Spurs. Right, who's the NBA Straya Pro Performer of the weekend?
That's not a knife. That's a knife.
I mean, with all the honourable mentions going on, who else should we honourably mention? It's like Jalen Green back on Saturday against the Warriors when he lit him up for 36, goes off his fucking head. Paolo Banchero with the 25, not bad. But the NBA Straya Pro Performer of the actual Game 1s. Honourable mentions. Who needs Luka Doncic when you've got Luka Nard? There you go, 27 points, playoff career high, 5 of 5 from deep, shot the piss out of it. LeBron loved it. That was sick. LeBron James, 427 years old, 19 points, 8 rebounds, 13 assists, carved them up, had a steal and a dunk at one point. You're like, how the fuck is this guy doing this? He's so old. Al Horford can barely move. Anyway, Tatum, his first playoff game back after tearing his Achilles and came out absolute fucking gangbusters. That was sick. 25, 11, and 7, 9 of 17 shooting, a plus 20 despite not ruling out, 1 of 7 from 3. He was still fucking awesome. And you're like, oh, that's why Boston can win the title. He's just probably going to get better. But I don't know, Achilles are a bit fucky like that, right? Like, you'll have the ups and downs, but goddamn, Tatum was awesome. Paolo Banchero, very, very good game today against the Detroit basketballing Pistons. 23 points, 9 rebounds, 4 assists and a steal, 3 turnovers. You get that on the big jobs. 8 of 15 shooting, but played as an act. Like he was out, hey, I'm a star. Just trust me, I'm a star. And you're like, okay, Paolo, where the fuck has this been all season, you dickhead? Right? Honorable mention also to Kay Cunningham, just absolutely Nelson Munsing it to himself for a bit of this game. 39 points when only one other dude on your team got the double figures. and it was fucking Tobias Harris. Hey, Tobias, Cade Cunningham needs a second helper to score. We're struggling to score against the Magic, one of your old teams. Can you help us out as a wily veteran? It'd be really good if you can get us 25 points. He's like, you got it, boss. 17 points. It's like, no, Tobias, 20 plus would be great. He's like, how about, best I can do, 5 of 15 shooting. You're like, Tobias, fuck, jeez. It's the Tobias Harris experience. Nothing better. But anyway, 39 for Cade Cunningham, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, only the 3 turnovers. But when the rest of your team's not making a fucking shot, you going 13 to 27 and scoring 39 points is fucking huge. Especially when you're coming back from a collapsed lung. But of course, the weekend's best performer was Wemby. That was just fucking stupid. 35 points, only the 5 rebounds, which still blows my mind. It's like you're taller than everybody by like a foot and a half. Tim Duncan and the Admiral David Robinson were sitting there at the... How good did the Spurs arena look like, by the way? They look fucking awesome. The different colors, love that shit. And David Robinson and Tim Duncan in their t-shirts, love that shit. Wemby, you're disgracing the memory of these two gentlemen here by getting 5 fucking rebounds and being 7'40". Come on. But anyway, 35 points, 13 to 21 shooting, 5 or 6 on threes, 2 blocks, an assist. Just demoralized the Blazers at different points. That's a hell of a performance. Who was Spud of the night?
Spud, 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 it is Spud of the night.
Spud. Dennis Jenkins. 1 of 7. Brutal. 5 of 15 for Tobias Harris, the never nude. God, this is the Tobias Harris experience, though. We all get it. 5 of 18 for SGA? Question mark? 6 of 19 for Alpi Şengün for 19 points. Just absolutely pantsed by dominating. 6 of 20 for Reed Shepherd. Yeesh. And 6 of 22 for Dylan Brooks. I don't know. Maybe don't poke bears, Dylan Brooks. This guy's got to stop poking bears. Just he's addicted to it. The Detroit Pistons bench shot 4 of 16, I think it was. Again, no math magician, but I'm pretty sure that's 25%. I believe it was like 3 of, I want to say 11 from downtown. Maybe 3 of 12? No, 3 of 11. Oh my God, what did they shoot from downtown, Jim? What did they go and do from downtown, that bench? They went and shot. Ah, yeah. Chill. Thank you, the Detroit Pistons bench. And the other one that we've just got to go, hello, Zachary Rissache. I'm a number 1 pick, remember? 0 of 3, 4 rebounds in 2 minutes. Yeah. It's not great, is it? It's just not great. I mentioned Suggs is 6 of 16 and 7 of 20 for Desmond Bain. But yeah, few spuds, but this is it. It's playoff time. Spuds usually get a little bit, sparse. And you have to sort of go, right, whose actual performance was a bit fucking shit? And that was a few of them. Old mate, no mates.
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 Who's got no mates today? Trae Young. He's happily sitting at home in the greater Washington, D.C. area. Probably has a house in Maryland or Virginia or somewhere. He's just sitting there watching the TV. And suddenly, he's like, I better turn on Atlanta, the Knicks, see how my old friends of the Atlanta Hawks are going. He's just sitting at home, probably watching with his kids. And suddenly MSG erupts in a fuck Trae Young chant, which is amazing because Trae Young plays for the Washington Wizards. That is one of the great old mate no mates. That's how much those Knicks fans still fucking hate Trae Young. Going back to those like Hawks playoff battles from a few years back where, yeah, the Knicks were fucking shit. Completely cooked it. How do you lose to Trae Young? I don't know. But anyway, Trae Young is like, just like covering his kids' ears and shit. Just imagine that. Dad, why are they saying, fuck you? I don't know what to do with myself. I just don't know.
I don't know what I'm going to do with myself. I just don't know.
I just don't know. Other old mate, no mates. I did enjoy CJ McCollum sticking with the Knicks. CJ was out there going, yeah, man, he's acting on Broadway because he kicked Jalen Brunson in the dick. Right in the dick and balls. He shot a jumper, and Jalen just went absolutely apeshit. He's he kicked me in the nuts, and CJ McCollum's like, shut the fuck up, I did. That was a normal jump shot, you fucking sookie baby. Acting on Broadway. Unnecessary. And I love it. CJ's like, I look forward to getting my $2,500 back for the tech foul. That's awesome. Jalen Brunson versus CJ. But yeah, fuck Trae Young at MSG is just all time. I love that they still hate that guy. Like, that is rent-free in your head, though. Pantsing of the night. We had a couple of good ones over the weekend. Well, first of all, the Rockets, Amen Thompson got pants by LeBron James, which is like, dude, he's old enough to be your dad. You should be able to beat him on the basketball court, amen. But Wemby also too small Denny Avdia, which is pretty crazy because Wemby could quite literally too small everybody on planet Earth, except for like one of those like weird fucking crazy giant, crazy fucking 8-foot dudes. But yeah. Still, went right around him early as well. Put him in the, as I said earlier, put him in the blender. Fucking Iguodaro got absolutely stopped. And I choose Iguodaro. Went up for a dunk, was going to yam on Hartenstein. And Hartenstein was like, get the fuck out of here. Blocked the shit out of the dunk attempt. I love that. Beef Stew also had a really good block on Paolo Banchero. And then Cade had a sick dunk on the same possession. That was really good. Some pretty good pantsons. Better than Bronny James, Lonzo Ball, and Ben Simmons.
Lonzo was the best player in high school. He was the best player in college. You think he'll get to the pros and be like, I made it to the pros, now I can be average. We're coming for everybody.
Coming for everybody. Scoot Henderson. Just saying, wasn't bad in that game, and I've got a lot of time for Scoot. We all know this. He shot 7 of 11, 2 of 4 from deep. He had 18, 3 and 3 in that game against the Spurs. Didn't mind it. But then, I feel like... who was the other one that we had that was actually had a pretty good one? Oh, Stephon Castle, of course. He was, again, very solid. I just love watching Castle just cause all sorts of fucking havoc because that's just kind of what he does. He's a little bit terrifying, almost like at all times. He missed like a shot in the fourth quarter in that sort of dry spell where you're like, that was weird. But after that, he was fucking fun. 17 points, 7 rebounds, 7 assists, 3 turnovers. You get that on the big job. But goddamn, his like level of competitiveness on the perimeter is fucking terrifying. And the Spurs are awesome. So, yeah, good job, Stephon Castle. So a couple of other lottery picks, but still better than Lonzo Ball, Ben Simmons, and Bronny James. Right. Did anyone else catch this one on the weekend? Because it's time for the magic tweet of the week. Oh, yeah. The Los Angeles Lakers beat the Houston Rockets 107-97 in Game 1. Wrong. First off. It was 107-98, but anyway. If LeBron continues to get this type of support from his teammates, the Lakers have a good chance of winning the series, capital S, against the Rockets, exclamation point. What do we say? Thanks, Magic. Thanks. And finally, Dickhead of the Weekend.
Dickhead of the Week!
Yeah, this is just still LaMelo Ball's. I mean, the basketball gods absolutely fucking walked up behind him and whopped him over the head with a 4x2, didn't they? For the bullshit, fuckheaded thing that he did against Bam Adebayo. Like, as soon as that happened, you're like, oh, right. So, yes, I shouldn't have taken Charlotte in that play-in game because I knew the basketball gods would tell him he's a fucking idiot, sit his ass down, pull his head in, or they'd whomp him again. And that's what they did. He was absolutely abysmal in that first half of the game. And it was all over Red Rover, basically, right? By the half. They were down like 31. And you're like, oh, this game's finished. Yeah, Charlotte might be able to shoot their way back into it. And you go, oh, but LaMelo ended up with 23 points, Jim. Yeah, he shot 7 of 17. He had, in the first half, he had 0 points. What was it? 3 fouls, 2 turnovers and 0 points. It was fucking hilarious. It was shithouse. But that's what you get for being a massive dickhead and tripping up a bloke mid-fucking air. LaMelo, you dumb prick. So, yeah, there you go. Right, let's do some quick yeah-nahs right after this.
This is Cam Glidden.
This is Anthony Drimmick.
This is Mitch McCarron.
This is Jason Kadee.
This is Darryl McDonald.
Hey guys, this is Hugh Greenwood.
Yo, what's going on? This is Illy.
This is Mark Worthington, or commonly known as Wortho, and you're listening to NBA Straya.
You're listening to NBA Straya.
And you're listening to NBA Straya.
And you're listening to NBA
And you're
Straya.
listening to NBA Straya.
You're listening to NBA Straya.
And you're listening to NBA Straya.
You're listening to NBA Straya.
All right, let's do it. Let's do some yeah-nahs brought to you by you. That's right. Help support the show. Go to buymeacoffee.com/NBA Straya and help your mate Jim out. Buy us a coffee. Buy us a tin, whatever. Join the Dead Set Legends Club. It's cheap as chips. Literally, it's like buying me a coffee once a month. And you get exclusive content. It's really fun. I love doing the exclusive stuff, so go check it out. It's basically our version of a Patreon, right? So buymeacoffee.com/NBA Straya. Help keep the lights on throughout this playoff series. Right, let's do some yeah-nahs. Does Steve Kerr coach the Warriors next year, Jim? Yeah-nah. There are reports. He's like, I don't know. I'm a bit worried about the future. Don't know what it holds. Yeah-nah. Yeah, I think he does. I think he might just tap out when Steph taps out. Right? I feel like there was a really, like, that was kind of the cool part. It was also sad during that Warriors game. When they sort of, Steve Kerr, Draymond, and Steph sort of all got together and just had like a little bit of a moment. There was also, I don't know who it was who was like trying to get in, and it's like, get the fuck out of here, idiot. How many titles have you won with this? Fuck off. It's none. Get out of here, you. It was very fun. Now I got to figure out who that was because it was funny as shit. I don't know if it was Pods. It might have been like D'Anthony Melton or something. You're like, shut up. Anyway, I think Kerr probably goes into next year as long as Steph's playing. I think he might just go year by year. That'd be my guess. Like, I feel like, it's kind of nice going out at the same time, right? You sort of then can kick around and do what you want. And you sort of got this unimpeachable Steph Curry run. You don't want to keep coaching the Warriors after he's gone. That seems like a bit of a vibe we're getting. And Steph came out and was like, hey, man, fucking Steve can do what he wants. It's like, yeah, he can. I think if Steph goes, Kerr goes. Like, if Steph gets traded or something, Kerr's just like, fucking poos. But as long as Steph goes, I think Kerr keeps on going. Jim, I like this one because I always liked we've talked about this in the past, the year before the year team. There's always one, especially in the Eastern Conference, right? The team that's the year before the year. Where you go, that's a good team. And then they improve by like another 10 or 12 wins and they're suddenly like a top 4 or 5 team or whatever. Like last year it was Detroit. Like that was the year before the year. And then this was the year. The year before that it was Indy, where they improved dramatically. And then suddenly last year they're in the fucking finals. Year before that, it was like the Knicks. And you're like, hang on a second. You were shit. Now you got Brunson and you go hammer and tongs. That was the Villanova Knicks. Remember that? That was fun. I kind of think, obviously, Charlotte are that team this year, right? You're losing the play-in, the 8-seed play-in. It's a bit of a kick in the dick. But there's like at least like a sense of accountability. You've got your coach. You've got Spindles Miller. You've got Con around LaMelo. And his game sort of got not mature, because I don't think we'll ever use that word for LaMelo, but it got tempered enough, maybe, that it could withstand a bit of pressure, but not quite enough, as we saw in the first half against Orlando on Saturday. So, yeah, I think they're the year before the year team, obviously, and because you've seen like the initial improvement, and you can sort of see the pathway to them kicking ass and taking names from here on out. So I think they've got a good coach. They've got good front office now because they cleared out everybody out. Like, remember Mitch Kupchak? Amazing. So, yeah, Charlotte easily. Do the Lakers actually have a shot at knocking off the Rockets, Jim? Yeah, nah. Fucking, it all depends on Kevin Durant. My favorite stat that came out, though, is that LeBron James's teams are 28-2 in the NBA playoffs when they win the first game of the series. 28-2 in the series when they win the first game. So, yeah, mathematically, they have a very obvious shot at knocking over the Rockets. But so much of this just simply comes down to Kevin Durant. And if the Lakers can win their first 2 home games, absolutely it's on for young and old. Like, I can't remember what I predicted. I think it was like, Houston 4-1. So fucking hell, that might be already sunk. But I feel like the Lakers' junky defense, we've sort of seen it. The big problem is I feel like this will be a really indicative Ime Udoka series. Like, you're going to learn a lot if you're the Rockets and going, fuck, he might not be the dude if he can't coach his way out of a wet bag. Because I think we've sort of seen him coach up a really good defense, but then being very reticent to play someone like Reed Shepherd and sort of figure out the defense around maybe a little bit of a weak link. But at Alpy, same sort of thing. Suddenly got a couple of maybe weak links. Alpy fucking tries. I don't know. Ime, it's going to be an interesting sort of end to this season if the Rockets can't at least make this a series, which I think they will, if Kevin Durant comes back at any point. But then the clear part is that fucking the Lakers might get Luka back. Then you're in trouble, right? So they certainly have a chance at knocking over the Rockets, and I did not think they did. The Kevin Durant injury threw completely a spanner in the works, and here we are. Detroit! Are they in trouble, Jim? Yeah, nah. Not in trouble. They should be worried. Because Orlando, they have fucking talent. We know that. And in a playoff series, you can go, there's Cade Cunningham. Cool. If he scores 39, guess what? We can still win the fucking game because we've shut down everybody else. And that's exactly what they did today. If they do that again, who knows? His teammates probably don't shoot like absolute dog shit in the next game. But this is the problem when you've got Duncan Robinson, Kevin Huerta, 2 guys who's like, cool, whose like primary skill is hitting threes. And when they don't hit threes, you're like, what do you do that isn't that? And they go, not much. And you're like, get the fuck out of here then, right? So it gets really, really hard very, very quickly for the Detroit Pistons if they're not hitting some extra shots and those role players aren't doing too much. So, yeah, it's a bit of a rough one, I tell you. And again, I don't want to keep fucking banging on about it, but this is why at the trade deadline, when you're only, we want to keep the vibes. It's like, vibes are great, but so's having a person who isn't Cade who can dribble. That seems important. Vibes don't get other players into scoring opportunities on the court. Vibes are awesome, but so is getting another 18 points because you've got a point guard or at least a secondary creator. I don't know. I'm no like rocket scientist, rocket surgeryist, but here we are. Just saying. You shot 40% from the fucking floor and you're relying on Tobias Harris to be your second best player sometimes. That's not good. Jalen Duran's still a little bit undercooked on the offensive end. We get it, but jeez. I'm a little bit worried because, again, that talent deficit. I talked this out in the preview. I went through all the sort of different matchups and you're like, yeah, Orlando, fucking look out. But I just didn't expect Orlando to beat Charlotte. Anyway, are OKC and the Spurs going to sweep? Yeah, nah. OKC, yes. Spurs, no. I think Portland's still going to get one. Yeah. Unpopular opinion of the day.
Now look at me, please. Look at me. Look at me. Look at me.
As fucking stupid as it is and how much I hate them, I want the Lakers to get through to the second round now. Right? And I guess that leads very easily into the Outback Takehouse. It's Monday at Outback, and you know what that means. Yep. I've been out all weekend. Basically at a pretty awesome Indian wedding, the Savo as well. And I'll tell you what, who needs a kookaburra pakora? Because I've got one. And they're today's special, and it's only at Outback. It's a clash of cultures. It's bloody beautiful. And it's only at Outback. And today's Flame Girl take is the Lakers in the second round. You better bloody believe it. Adam Silver's going to 100% make it happen. To the point where Luka's not even injured. Adam Silver and the NBA have just made up the injury and the drama to get people watching the first round. And they can bring him back 4 games in as the all-conquering hero. That'll get you some eyeballs. Got to talk about ratings. only at Outback. I mean, it's not feasible. Australian player watch from the weekend. Dyson Daniels had a bit of a Barry Crocker shocker shooting-wise. He had 4 points, 11 assists though, and 9 rebounds to go with 3 steals, the Great Barrier Thief, up against the Knickerbockers. He shot 2 of 7 and 0 of 2 on threes though. Not great. No Rock'em Sock'em Block'em Jock'em Landale because of that bastard Goga Batazde knocking him out. No jingles for the Wolves in their first game against Denver either. And obviously Rocco is a two-way player, won't play in the playoffs. Josh Greeny Green in the knockout game against Orlando. Bit shit again. Greeny had, I think, we've talked about this at length, right, about Josh Green, and I think how for him to be effective, he just sort of needs to play more and more and more and more. And these little 5-10 minute spurts off the bench, it doesn't really take advantage of his sort of cutting, junk bucket, do everything a bit defensively skills. So he had 10 minutes against Orlando. He went 0 of 2 from the floor. He had 2 rebounds and 2 fouls. It was, I don't know. Because I kind of want Josh Green to be on the Hornets because I think there's a lot of opportunity. But suddenly they're playing Sion James and you're like, fucking get Josh Green out there, you dickheads. Tyrese Proctor copped the did not play coach's decision against Toronto. And Aussie Matty T in the first game against San Antonio, and he played 21 minutes. It wasn't too bad. 3 points, 1 of 3, all of which were for deep. 4 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal. You kind of like, he missed a 3 where you're like, oh, if that goes in, look out. But anyway. Quick great moment in NBA. Andrew Gay's Great Mamba Award. That's what we're doing, isn't it? Yes, Jim. You're running the show, apparently.
It's the first annual Andrew Gay's Great Mamba.
Outstanding achievement.
Excellent. We've got 2 of them. I mean, I mentioned LeBron James and that stupid 28-2 record in a playoff series when he wins the first game. That's fucked. Playing on the same court with your son in a playoff game is fucking absurd. And there was a really good one about how so to match LeBron's like actual playoff points total, like what it's at the moment, someone would have to average 30 in these playoff games for 10 straight years, playing 7 games every series and getting to the finals every year of those 10 years. So yeah, that's pretty excellent, I reckon. And the other one is Wemby, who just set a Spurs franchise record for points scored in their first playoff game. I don't know if you've heard, but the Spurs have been around in the playoffs a bit. And he's just gone, yeah, I just had the best debut. That's pretty good. Right, let's do some game previews. Game previews for tomorrow's games. After we check in with Paddy Mills. Paddy with the good hair. He's out there in Tenerife causing all sorts of... There we go. Ball of Pat. Dribbling around. Up. Launching the 3. Whack. Puts him up 8. That place looks like it's going off its head too. Oh, Paddy Skadoosh. Oh, if you need some Paddy Mills 3s, go check out his Instagram stories. I reckon he could still... absolute bucket. I can still play in the NBA. Right, let's do some game previews for tomorrow. Game previews. Thanks, Inadvertent Bane. Not a problem, Jim. How's it all going? I mean, as I said at the start, bit sad. But you get that, don't you? It's all part of life. Right. Our picks are over at Double, of course. You can use the link in our show description or our social bios. We went 3 of 4 today, and we went 0 of 4 yesterday because we took all the first 3 underdogs and then the Rockets, and then, I didn't have, because I'd already put it in. Then the Durant news came out. I would have taken the Lakers, but too late. So tomorrow we've got 3 games. So Rockets-Lakers is the only one from Saturday that's not playing. From Sunday that's not playing again tomorrow. So it's Toronto at Cleveland, Atlanta Knicks, Minnesota Denver. I'm going to take the underdog again in each of these ones because I think game 2, you do the adjustment, you do the adjustments. You're adjusting to adjustments after that, right? But this is the first round of adjustments, and I think what you'll see sort of historically, game 2s, a lot of it can be pretty close because obviously the team that's already down 0-1 They have a chance to snatch one on the road, even up the series before they go back home. So they're going absolutely hammer and tongs. And the home team, if they've already got one in the bag, they're sitting there going, oh shit, we go up 2-0. This is going to be blah, blah, blah. And you get some really, really interesting ones. So love a good game too. And that's why I'm going the underdogs. I'm going to take the plus 8.5 for Toronto. I think what we saw with some of those matchups, yes, they had their really good shooting game in game one. But I feel like defensively they'll be able to do a little bit more against Cleveland. Maybe. Come on, Raptors. I believe in you a little bit. Atlanta, plus 5.5. I think that Knicks game sort of got a little bit squirrely at the end, which is very funny. And I was still like, oh, God, they might still cover. But again, the Jalen Johnson OG sort of stuff, we hit on that in the preview as well. And I kind of think that is something that they might be able to scheme open a little bit more. Well, sort of like they weirdly do very, very much missed Jock Landale, like, and just getting a couple of junk buckets here and there when they bring in their backup big. But I think the Hawks, if they can get a little bit more out of Nick Alexander-Walker, a little bit more out of CJ, Dyson, 7 shots, 4 points, bit of a tough one. But Jalen Johnson's the big one there. I reckon they get a bit of a bounce back there for him. The Knicks might still win, but I think the Hawks can be right there. And then Minnesota, same sort of thing. I think with a little bit better efficiency against Denver, they really, really pushed the Nuggets the other day. But they just, some big moments, they sort of just missed their calling. The Wolves are like Orlando, I reckon, in my brain so far. Like, it's just so hard to predict game to game what they're going to do. But if you get like a big Ant-Man game, you don't have Jamal living at the line. He was so good in game one. I reckon the Wolves can actually push him. So we're going to go all the underdogs. It's Underdog Tuesday here on NBA Straya. So that'll be fun. And we'll wrap it all up for you tomorrow because that's it for today. Nothing at the end of this one because I've got to get out of here and look after the squidge and stuff. I think we are going to do a deli review probably though tomorrow. So, and what we'll do, I think, throughout the playoffs, we're going to be doing daily shows, just so you know. The Tuesday, Thursday shows will probably be a little bit shorter. I might not do Nars and other stuff, but I'll do just sort of, daily awards, game wraps and stuff. Probably not belabor the game wraps as much as I did today, but today it's like first initial impressions across all 8 games, all 8 series. Had to do it, so felt good. So tomorrow might be a little bit of a quicker one. I'll try to keep around 20, 30 minutes or something. I always say that, and then I just go 45, but whatever. So that'll be a fun one. Toronto, Cleveland, Atlanta Knicks, Minnesota, Denver. Can't wait for those games. So remember, follow NBA Straya on Twitter, Facey, IG, TikTok, YouTube. Jump in the comments, say good day. Get around footy unfilterated. What a crazy weekend of footy that was. Oh, boy. How are the D's? Anyway, that's going to be a really good one with me and Jez tomorrow. So make sure you subscribe across all of the outlets for that as well. Hit us up on the socials. Any ideas you want on footy unfiltrated, send them through. Open book. NFL Straya as well. And Jim does Supercoach. It's going to be a fun one this week because I'll tell you what, AFL Supercoach, geez, I got Zach Katalski'd. You have to tune in to find out what that means. Rate, review, star, subscribe across all your podcast apps. Jump in the YouTube comments, say good day. Big thanks always go to From Oslo for the intro and outro song. They rule. House Hats, Josh De Laurentiis, Fascinated, Goldmines, Ramshackle Army, Iowa, Section Green, and Dozers. They're behind all the tunes you hear behind the show. And also, of course, buymeacoffee.com/NBA Straya. Help jump on board, support the show, become a member, our Patreon, whatever. Buymeacoffee.com/NBA Straya. All right, so we'll catch you tomorrow, you dickheads. This is NBA Straya saying, seriously, look after yourselves, hug your mates, tell them you love them. You never know. Just never bloody know. Seriously, look after yourselves, would you? And later, hoes.